My family uninvited me from Thanksgiving after I'd already paid the entire $8,000 catering and venue bill. So I called the event planner, canceled everything, and let them scramble to find food for 50 guests on Thanksgiving morning. Hello my people. Don't forget to hit subscribe, say hi below and share your location. We love seeing our family from all over the world. Let's get into the story. I was folding laundry in my apartment when my phone buzzed. Mom's name flashed across the screen, and I smiled, thinking she was calling to finalize the menu for our big Thanksgiving celebration. I'd spent 3 months planning this reunion, bringing together 50 family members from across the country. The venue deposit alone had cost me $2,000. Hey Mom. I was just about to call you about Barbara, we need to talk. Her voice was cold, clinical. My stomach dropped. What's wrong? Is someone sick? She cleared her throat. Your sister feels uncomfortable with you attending Thanksgiving this year. We've decided it would be best if you didn't come. The room tilted. What? Mom, I paid for everything. The entire event. $8,000. I maxed out my credit card for this. Yes, well, Noah said he'd handle the bills now. We appreciate what you've done, but family harmony is more important. Surely you understand. Noah. Of course. My brother-in-law, who'd married my younger sister Rochelle 2 years ago and somehow convinced my entire family that his opinions mattered more than their own daughter's existence. Mom, this is insane. What did I even do? Rochelle says you've been judgmental about her lifestyle choices. She needs support right now, not criticism. I'd mentioned once, that posting their entire lives on social media might not be healthy. That was 3 months ago. So I'm uninvited from the Thanksgiving I planned and paid for? We'll reimburse you eventually. Goodbye, Barbara. The line went dead. I stared at my phone for 10 minutes, replaying the conversation. My hands trembled as rage and hurt warred inside my chest. 3 months of planning. Calls to caterers, comparing venues, designing a menu that accommodated everyone's dietary restrictions. I'd taken extra shifts at the hospital where I worked as a nurse, sacrificing sleep and sanity to afford this reunion. And now I was uninvited. My phone buzzed again. A text from my younger brother, Devin. Heard about Thanksgiving. That's messed up, but you know how Rochelle gets. Just let it go. Family first. Family first. The phrase made me want to scream. I pulled up my email and found the contract with Grandeur Events, the planning company I'd hired. There, in black and white, was my name as the sole financial guarantor. Not Noah. Not my parents. Me. Another text arrived, this time from Rochelle herself. Maybe this is a blessing. You've always been so controlling. Let someone else take the lead for once. Noah has everything under control. We don't need your charity. My charity. I'd called it love. I'd called it bringing our fractured family together after Dad's heart attack last year had reminded us how fragile everything was. I scrolled through my camera roll and found the photo from last Thanksgiving. Just 8 of us around Mom's cramped dining table. Dad had looked so tired, so small. Next year, he'd said, squeezing my hand, let's do something big. Get everyone together like the old days. I'd made that happen. I'd sacrificed everything to make his wish come true. And now I wasn't even invited. Something inside me snapped. I sat on my couch until the sun set, numbness replacing the initial shock. My cat, Sora, rubbed against my legs, sensing my distress. I scratched behind her ears absently while my mind raced through possibilities. I could show up anyway. Make a scene. Force them to acknowledge how cruel this was. I could post about it on social media, expose their treatment of me. I could just let them win. Swallow the hurt, the financial burden, and disappear from their lives like they clearly wanted. Or I could do something else entirely. I picked up my phone and opened my contacts. Found the number for Denise Miller, the event coordinator at Grandeur Events. It was 8:30 on a Tuesday evening, but Denise had given me her personal cell for emergencies. My thumb hovered over her name for a long moment. Once I made this call, there was no going back. This would burn every bridge. My family would never forgive me. But what was I forgiving them for? For dismissing me? For taking my money and my effort and treating both as worthless? Family first. Devin had texted. I'd been putting family first my entire life. I was 32 years old, single because I'd spent every holiday and weekend dealing with family drama instead of building my own life. I'd loaned money I'd never seen returned. I'd bitten my tongue through countless slights and dismissals. I'd played the role of the responsible one, the reliable one, the one who fixed everything while everyone else took and took and took. Not anymore. I pressed Denise's name. She answered on the third ring. Barbara, everything okay? Denise, I need to cancel the Thanksgiving event. Silence. Then carefully, cancel? The event is in 2 days. We've already prepared most of the food. The venue is decorated. The cancellation fee alone would be. I don't care about the fee, I interrupted. I'm the one who paid for everything. My name is on the contract. I want it cancelled. Tonight. Denise tried reasoning with me for 20 minutes. She explained the logistics, the deposits I'd lose, the vendors who'd already been paid. I listened patiently and then repeated my request. I want everything cancelled. The venue, the catering, the flowers, the photographer. Everything. Barbara, she said softly, I've been doing this for 15 years. I can hear in your voice that you're upset. Are you sure you want to do this? Once I make these calls, it's done. There's no undoing it. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. All right, but I need to know, should I inform the other family members who are listed as contacts? I thought about that. Who's listed? Your mother, Sarah, and someone named Noah Peterson. Of course Noah had added himself to the contact list. The audacity was almost impressive. Don't call them, I said. This is my event, my money, my cancellation. They'll find out when they need to know. After we hung up, I felt hollow. Not regretful, just empty, like I'd carved something essential out of my chest and was now waiting to see if I could survive without it. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I cleaned my apartment with manic energy, scrubbing floors that were already clean, organizing closets that didn't need organizing. Zora watched me with worried green eyes. At 3 a.m, my phone rang. I let it go to voicemail. She called 6 more times before sunrise. I turned off my phone. When I finally powered it back on at noon, I had 47 missed calls and 32 text messages. I read through them with detached curiosity, like I was studying someone else's life. Mom, Barbara, call me immediately. Rochelle, what did you do? Noah, this is childish and petty. You're embarrassing yourself in this family. Devin, Jazz, seriously? You cancelled everything? That's cold. My Aunt Carol, Dad's sister. Your mother called crying. How could you do this to your family? Only one message gave me pause. From Dad, call me. Please. I called Dad from my car, parked in the hospital lot before my evening shift. He answered immediately. Barbara. His voice was heavy, tired. Talk to me. Help me understand. Did Mom tell you what happened? She said you cancelled Thanksgiving because Rochelle asked you not to come. That seems extreme, baby girl. Baby girl. He hadn't called me that in years. The tenderness in his voice made my eyes burn. Did she tell you why Rochelle asked me not to come? Silence. Then, your mother said there was some disagreement. Rochelle felt criticized. Dad, 3 months ago I mentioned that posting everything online might not be healthy. Once. That's the criticism she's talking about. And for that, I get uninvited from the Thanksgiving I spent $8,000 planning. I heard him exhale slowly. 8,000? Barbara, why didn't you tell us it was that much? Because I wanted to do something special. For you. You said you wanted the family together. Remember? Last Thanksgiving you held my hand and said. I remember. His voice cracked. I remember, sweetheart. So I made it happen. I worked doubles. I maxed out my credit card. I called every single family member personally to make sure they could come. I designed a menu with Aunt Carol's vegan requirements and Uncle Eduardo's diabetic restrictions. I hired a photographer so we'd have professional pictures of everyone together. I found a venue with wheelchair accessibility for Grandma. And then Mom calls me and says I'm uninvited, like I'm some problem that needs managing. That's not. Your mother didn't mean it like that. What did she mean then, Dad? Because from where I'm sitting, my family decided Noah's comfort matters more than my presence. Noah, who's been in this family for 2 years. Noah, who didn't contribute a dime to this event. He offered to pay. After I'd already paid. My voice rose despite my effort to stay calm. After months of planning, suddenly he swoops in and offers money so I can be gracefully excluded? Another long silence. What do you want from me, Barbara? You want me to fix this? I want you to tell me if you even wanted me there. Dad's hesitation told me everything. It lasted maybe 3 seconds, but those seconds contained a lifetime of understanding. Of course I want you there, he finally said, but the words came too late, too carefully constructed. But Rochelle is struggling right now. Her and Noah are having problems and she needs family support. Your mother thought. We thought it might be easier if I wasn't there. If the problem child just removed herself. You're not the problem child, Barbara. You're the responsible one. You're the one we can count on to understand. I laughed, a bitter sound that surprised us both. That's the problem, isn't it? I'm so responsible, so understanding that my feelings don't matter. Rochelle throws a tantrum and everyone scrambles to accommodate her. I quietly sacrifice everything and that's just expected. That's not fair. You're right. It's not fair. None of this is fair. I watched a couple walk across the parking lot holding hands, laughing about something. They looked so light, so unburdened. When had I last felt that way? Dad, do you know how much money I've loaned this family over the years? We're not talking about $23,000. I kept track because I thought maybe someday someone would pay me back. Devon's car repairs. Rochelle's credit card debt. Mom's medical bills when insurance didn't cover everything. I gave it all willingly because that's what family does, right? We help each other. And we appreciate. When did anyone help me, Dad? When I was struggling with nursing school debt. When my car died and I had to Uber to work for 3 months because I couldn't afford repairs. When I had pneumonia and was hospitalized and Mom couldn't visit because Rochelle needed her to watch the kids. His breathing grew heavy on the line. You never asked for help. I shouldn't have to ask. The words exploded out of me. That's the point. I give and give and give, and the one time I try to do something good, something to bring us together, I get kicked out of my own event. We sat in silence for a long moment. I could hear the television in the background at their house, some game show with cheerful music that felt obscene given our conversation. So what happens now? Dad asked finally. Thanksgiving is in 2 days. Where are 50 people supposed to go? That's not my problem anymore. Barbara. No, Dad. Listen to me. For once in my life, listen. I'm done. I'm done being the dependable one who gets nothing in return. I'm done putting everyone else first while I come last. I'm done being treated like my feelings and my money and my effort don't matter. Your mother is beside herself. She's been crying all day. The manipulation was so casual, so automatic that I almost missed it. Almost. Then she shouldn't have uninvited her daughter from Thanksgiving. Can't you just come anyway? We can figure this out. The event is cancelled, Dad. There's nothing to come to. Denise already notified the venue and the caterers. It's done. What about all those people traveling here? What do we tell them? I felt a flicker of guilt, then stamped it down. Those people weren't my responsibility. They were Mom's family, Dad's family. Let them figure it out. Tell them the truth. Tell them that you uninvited your daughter after she paid for everything, and she decided she'd rather lose thousands of dollars than be disrespected. That makes us sound. What, Dad? Ungrateful? Dysfunctional? I paused. Maybe that's because that's what we are. I heard Mom's voice in the background, shrill and demanding. Is that her? Give me the phone, William. Give it to me right now. I have to go, I said quickly. I have a shift starting. Barbara, wait. I hung up. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. In the rearview mirror I saw my face, eyes red, jaw tight, looking 10 years older than I had that morning. This was what standing up for yourself looked like, apparently. It looked like grief. My shift that night was hell. Not because of the patients. I loved my patients, found comfort in the straightforward exchange of care for gratitude, but because my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. During my break, I scrolled through the messages with mounting disbelief. Aunt Carol, I just heard what happened. I'm very disappointed in you. After everything your parents have done for you. What had they done for me? Raised me? That was their job. Loved me? Did they though? Cousin Michelle, this is so extra. You really couldn't just let it go? Now Grammy can't see everyone before she dies. Grammy was 73 and in perfect health, but sure, weaponize her mortality. My mother's best friend Patricia, who I hadn't spoken to in 5 years. Your mother is devastated. You should be ashamed. Uncle Eduardo. Whatever disagreement y'all having, this ain't the way. Family is forever. This Thanksgiving ain't. Rochelle in all caps, you're a selfish bitch and I hope you're happy. Is in bed crying because of you. Dad's blood pressure is through the roof. If anything happens to them, it's your fault. That last message hit different. I read it 3 times feeling sick. Dad's heart attack last year had terrified us all. What if this stress triggered another one? No, I couldn't think like that. They'd made a choice. They'd uninvited me, dismissed my feelings, taken my money for granted. I hadn't forced them to do any of that. But the guilt still gnawed at me. My colleague Sandra found me crying in the supply closet at 2 in the morning. Honey, what's wrong? She pulled me into a hug and I told her everything. When I finished, she pulled back and looked at me hard. Did you pay for this event? Yes. Did they uninvite you after you paid? Yes. Then you did the right thing. She squeezed my shoulders. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you did. Some people will take and take until you're empty. Sometimes you have to protect yourself. I woke up on Thanksgiving morning to 127 notifications. I didn't read any of them. Instead, I made coffee, fed Zora, and tried to pretend this was just another Thursday. My doorbell rang at 9 o'clock. Through the peephole I saw Devin. He looked exhausted, his usual easy smile replaced with tight-lipped tension. I opened the door. What are you doing here? Can I come in? I stepped aside. He walked past me into my small living room, his size making the space feel even smaller. Devin had always been the peacemaker, the buffer between Rochelle's drama and my rationality. Everyone's losing their minds, he said without preamble. Mom won't stop crying. Dad's locked himself in the garage. Rochelle is posting about this on social media. She's what? He showed me his phone. There, on Rochelle's Instagram story, was a long rant with my name barely obscured. My older sister canceled our family Thanksgiving because she's petty and vindictive. 50 people have nowhere to go today because she's having a tantrum. This is what happens when you call someone out on their judgmental behavior. They punish everyone. The comments were vicious. Strangers calling me selfish, horrible, a disgrace. Friends of Rochelle's piling on, none of them knowing the full story. She's making you look like a monster, Devin said quietly. I handed back his phone. And what's the truth, Dev? Did I cancel Thanksgiving because I'm petty? Or did I cancel it because I was uninvited from the event I paid for? He sat down heavily on my couch. Jess, you know how Rochelle is. She says things she doesn't mean. If you'd just given it a few days, she would have calmed down. So I'm supposed to accept being uninvited, keep paying for everything, and hope she changes her mind? That's your solution. I'm saying you didn't have to nuke everything from orbit. There were other options. Name one. He opened his mouth, closed it, tried again. You could have. I don't know, talked to Rochelle directly. Worked it out. I tried that 3 months ago. She blocked me. Devin stayed for an hour trying various angles. Guilt, logic, appeal to tradition. Nothing worked. Finally, he stood to leave. You know what hurts most? He said at the door. We were actually excited about this. Me and Shanice were talking about it being the first Thanksgiving where Liam could really participate, you know? He's 3 now. He was so pumped to see all his cousins. The mention of my nephew hit hard. Liam with his gap-toothed grin and obsession with dinosaurs. I'd bought him a special gift, a stuffed T-Rex that roared when you squeezed it. I'm sorry Liam's disappointed, I said carefully. But Mom could have planned something else. We could have. This didn't have to fall apart just because I wasn't organizing it. With 2 days' notice? Just be realistic. I am being realistic. I'm realizing that I've been the glue holding this family together and nobody appreciated it. So now you get to see what that looks like. He shook his head. You sound bitter. I am bitter. I'm also right. After he left, I did something I'd been avoiding. I looked at my credit card statement. $8,347. The cancellation fees had reduced my losses slightly, but I'd still forfeited over $5,000. Money I didn't have. Money that would take me a year to pay off. For a family that didn't want me there. My phone rang. An unknown number. I answered cautiously. Is this Barbara? A woman's voice, older, uncertain. Yes. This is Evelyn Patterson. I'm Noah's mother. I sat down slowly. Okay. I heard what happened. With Thanksgiving. Noah told me his version, but I wanted to hear yours. For some reason, this woman I'd never met asking for my side of the story made me start crying again. I told her everything. The planning, the cost, the phone call from Mom, the cancellation. When I finished, she was quiet for a long moment. That boy of mine can be a real piece of work, she said finally. And I'm sorry he's caused trouble in your family. But honey, I need to tell you something. Something you deserve to know. Noah and your sister are splitting up, Evelyn said. Have been for months. That's why they're both so volatile right now. I felt the world tilt again. What? They're separating after the holidays. Trying to keep it quiet until after Thanksgiving because they didn't want to ruin the family gathering. Ironic, huh? How do you know this? I'm his mother. He tells me things he doesn't tell anyone else. And between you and me, I'm relieved. That marriage has been toxic from the start. But here's what you really need to know. Noah convinced your sister that you were the problem. That you'd been judging them, talking about them to other family members. I know. He needed a scapegoat. Someone to blame for their problems. And you, being the responsible one, made an easy target. She sighed. He knew if he could get you uninvited, he could control the narrative. Make you look like the villain instead of addressing the real issues in his marriage. My hands were shaking again. Why are you telling me this? Because I raised better than what he's become and I can't watch him destroy people without at least trying to warn them. And because I think you deserve to know that this wasn't about you. It never was. After we hung up, I sat in the dark for hours, processing. Everything I'd thought I understood about this situation had shifted. Rochelle wasn't just being dramatic. She was drowning in a failing marriage and had latched onto me as the cause. Mom and Dad weren't just choosing favorites. They were being manipulated by Noah. And I'd burned it all down without knowing the full story. Or had I? Would knowing Noah's manipulation change anything? They still could have told me the truth. They still could have chosen me. They hadn't. My phone buzzed. A text from a number I didn't recognize. This is Denise from Grandeur Events. I know this is weird, but I wanted to check on you. That cancellation call was one of the hardest I've witnessed. Are you okay? I stared at the message. A stranger showing more concern than my own family. I will be, I typed back. Thank you for asking. The weekend after Thanksgiving, Dad showed up at my door. No warning, no phone call. Just appeared at 7 on Saturday morning holding 2 coffees from my favorite cafe. Can we talk? He asked. I let him in. We sat at my tiny kitchen table and for the first time in my adult life my father looked old. Not just older, old. Beaten down. The heart attack had aged him, but this was different. This was defeat. I'm sorry, he said. I'm sorry for how we handled everything. I'm sorry we made you feel unwanted. I'm sorry we took your effort and your money for granted. I wrapped my hands around the coffee cup, letting the warmth seep into my cold fingers. What happened Thursday? Chaos. Your Aunt Carol ordered 40 pizzas and had them delivered to your mother's house. Everyone showed up there instead. It was cramped and uncomfortable and nothing like what you'd planned. Rochelle and Noah fought the entire time. He left around 3 and hasn't come back. Rochelle confessed they're getting divorced. I know. His eyebrows rose. You know. His mother called me. Told me everything. Dad absorbed this. So you know that Noah was manipulating the situation, using you as a scapegoat. I know. But Dad, that doesn't change what you and Mom did. Noah didn't force you to uninvite me. He didn't force Mom to call me and dismiss everything I'd done. You chose that. We thought we were protecting Rochelle. By sacrificing me. I met his eyes. I'm your daughter too. When do I get protected? He looked away first. You're right. You're always right, and that's part of the problem. We expect you to be strong enough to handle everything because you always have been. We forgot you might need protecting too. The validation felt good and terrible all at once. Too little too late. I can't forgive this, I said quietly. Not right now. Maybe not ever. You made me feel like I didn't matter. Like 32 years of being the good daughter counted for nothing. You matter more than you know. Then why doesn't it feel that way? 3 months later, I'm sitting in my new apartment. Bigger, brighter, in a different part of town. Zora is sprawling across a sun patch on the hardwood floor, purring contentedly. I haven't spoken to Mom since Thanksgiving. She's reached out, awkward texts that I respond to minimally. I'm fine. Work is busy. Talk soon. Never defining when soon might be. Rochelle blocked me on everything, which honestly feels like a gift. Dad and I have coffee once a month. We talk about safe things. Sports, my job, his garden. We don't talk about family. There's too much broken there and neither of us knows how to fix it. Devin brings Liam by sometimes. My nephew doesn't understand why we don't do family dinners anymore, why everything changed. I tell him sometimes families need space and he accepts this with the easy logic of childhood. The credit card is almost paid off. I picked up extra shifts, sold some things I didn't need, built a budget that actually works. Every payment feels like freedom. I've started therapy. My therapist, Dr. Williams, asks me hard questions about boundaries and self-worth and why I spent so many years trying to earn love that should have been freely given. Last week, Evelyn, Noah's mother, invited me to lunch. We've become unlikely friends, bonded by our mutual exhaustion with her son's behavior. She tells me Rochelle is doing better, focusing on herself, going to therapy. I'm glad. Genuinely. I never wanted my sister to suffer. I just wanted to stop suffering myself. Sometimes I imagine what that Thanksgiving could have been. 50 people laughing, sharing stories, creating memories. Professional photos capturing joy. Dad healthy and happy, surrounded by the family he wanted to bring together. But that Thanksgiving would have required me to swallow my dignity. To accept being unwanted in the family I'd tried so hard to unite. To teach everyone that my feelings didn't matter as long as they got what they wanted. So instead I chose myself. For the first time in my life I chose myself. Cost me $8,000 and a family. But I gained something invaluable. The knowledge that I deserve better. That love shouldn't require me to diminish myself. That family isn't just blood. It's respect, consideration, reciprocity. I look at Zora, sleeping peacefully in the sun. I think about Sandra from work who checks on me daily. About Denise who sends me encouraging texts. About Dr. Williams who helps me rebuild my sense of self-worth. About Dad slowly learning to see me as a person rather than a solution. About the future I'm building one boundary at a time. The old me would have already planned next Thanksgiving, would have tried again to bring everyone together, would have convinced herself that this time would be different. But I'm not that person anymore. And you know what? I'm learning to be okay with that. If you've ever felt invisible in your own family, ever given until you had nothing left, ever wondered if you mattered, you do. You matter. Your feelings matter. Your effort matters. Your boundaries matter. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Share your own experiences in the comments. Have you ever had to choose yourself over family? How did you navigate it? Let's support each other. Remember, you're not alone in this struggle. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's survival.